I think, and this has been true of most of the teams that I've been a part of, it's been a growing process. We have like kind of the start of the year where, there's a few bumps. There's some times where we haven't quite figured out how to play just the defense that we play together yet, just because, it's a rotating cast of characters. But, once we figure it out, and it happens every year, once we figure it out, and I think today was a really good step in that direction, we can really just get to what we know we can do and what has been done traditionally in this program.
Jay, you scored the first points of the game and had 5 blocks in the first half. I was curious for you, when you get off to a strong start, can you kind of just tell that you're going to be on a roll for the rest of the game? It seems like you were sort of going right from the opening tip today.
I mean, I felt good about the start. To be honest, I feel like I probably dropped my shooting percentage today just because I missed a few chippies, a few easy ones, or just some that I would like to make. But it still felt good to just have a good, strong first half. And then I wanted to make sure I led that into the second half. The blocks were, I didn't realize I had that many. So that was good to hear as soon as I came out of the locker room after the game. But yeah, I mean, it certainly helps to get off to a good start.
Jay, in that Notre Dame game, you had some early foul trouble. In this one, you had foul trouble on the back end. It really didn't end up meaning much. But how much has that kind of been, kind of lowering that and, just being able to stay out there on the court to make an impact like today?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to stay out of foul trouble. Obviously, I couldn't help myself toward the end. I think they were just trying to get me up to my average just to maintain the norm. But there were a couple that, once I realized I didn't have any fouls, I was able to play a little bit more free and try not to not pick up fouls, if that makes sense. There have been a couple games where I kind of step back and I just have to be cautious. And then toward the end of the game, I kind of let that go. And obviously that led to a few more fouls, but I think that was all right. And I think that some of them it was either that or possibly give up a bucket. So I was willing to sacrifice that.
All right, we'll go to Doug Dowdy, Caroline Darney, and Bennett Conlon.
Jay, there was a stretch there where they outscored you 14-0. I mean, yeah, they outscored you 14-0. Then you came back with an 11-1 stretch in the first. What was that whole thing like in your eyes?
Honestly, I mean, yes, that's not good, and we all realize that in the huddle, but maybe because I've been around for so long, but teams go on runs. There's a lot of runs that happen in the middle of games, and that's just kind of is what it is. And so we try not to, pressure ourselves in that way. We don't want to, trying to think of the right word. We really just don't want to get down on ourselves when that happens, because we've been in that situation before. I've been in more 10 seconds left in the game, down 2 or up 2 situations than I can count. So it doesn't really make me too nervous anymore. And same goes for when a team goes on a run. It just kind of is what it is.
Jay, we've been seeing a lot more of Kihei and Reese together. Today 6 assists, 1 turnover. How does that help you in the offense when you have 2 capable playmakers, but also 2 guys alongside of you that can take it, score points themselves?
I mean, that's big, obviously. They do just a great job playing together. Reese has come along really well as a first year. He's impressed me a lot, just both learning the defense and just with the way he scores. And obviously, Kihei does what he does every game, and he's, getting to the rim, mismatch, because that's what happened a lot today, especially, is they would switch, and so Kihei would get a mismatch, or I would get a mismatch, or Reese would get a mismatch. Kihei's been doing a lot of work in the post recently, so we've been practicing one-on-one against each other. No, not really.
I was going to ask who's giving whom pointers at this point.
No, we don't do that a whole lot, but we don't switch a whole lot at UVA, at least not 1 to 5 or anything like that. But he's been working on that a little bit. I've been giving him a few pointers, that type of thing.
Jay, I was curious, after starting 3-0 in ACC play, is the confidence drastically higher now than it was after the Gonzaga loss? I guess, what's it sort of like in the locker room after the last few games?
After the Gonzaga loss, I think we all realized that, 1, we had a lot of work to do, but 2, that was a game where we just didn't play the way we know we can. And I think that, we can kind of brush that. I mean, we can remember it and then brush it off and move forward. It's almost a game that you just erase in some ways. But, it definitely does help to start 3-0 in the ACC, because that's not easy to do in this conference. So
I think we kind of got our get back at home after that first one last year, so I don't think there was any incentive, but we just try to come out and play the way we can every game. So just try to come in. We know they had a couple guys out, but we didn't want to let that affect us as they had guys out last year, and so did we this time. So we just got to come out and just play the game we know how to play.
Thank you.
Kihei, you've played almost the entire game, the last 2 games, with Reese also on the floor. I was curious, what's it like playing with him, and do you sort of feel more comfortable, I guess, the 2 of you back there as guards?
Oh yeah, I think 2 point guards is, I mean, like my first year we had 2 point guards, me and Ty. I mean, this year me and Reese. It's just different. I mean, he could bring up the ball, I could bring up the ball. Like he could play in the mix in 3 games. So I think we just try to play off of each other, just try to learn each other's strengths and just what we like to do. But it's fun being on the court with him at the same time.
Hey, what do you think has clicked since y'all got into ACC play since that Gonzaga loss on defense, especially just the way that y'all kind of been able to lock down and kind of revert back to the UVA defense of old?
I think, yeah, I mean, defensively, I don't think we played the way we could have against Gonzaga. But I think we're touching on it on what we can do defensively. We're holding guys pretty good. I mean, I think they hit 2 last second shots against the shot clock today. But I think we're doing a good job defensively, and I think we can just ramp it up a little bit more and just get a little better.
All right, next 3 will be Jeff White, Chris Wright, and Brad Franklin.
Hey, Kihei, in the zone offense, you worked the middle today, and I know in years past, Ty has done that in Malcolm. What do you try to do when you're in that position there, around the foul line and in the lane?
They were kind of matching up after we would get middle touches. So if I had big on me, just exploit the mismatch. Sometimes they would lose vision on the weak side, so we would have skips for open threes, and then guys could drive the lane as well. But I think once you get in the middle and you kind of could just make the play, it's not always the score, but if you can make passes out of it, I think that helps too.
I mean, you seem like you're really enjoying that part of the game this season. Has that been fun, just kind of working around the basket? We get back to the basket sometimes and taking guys one-on-one that way?
Yeah, I think something we work on in practice, that playmaker spot, and just trying to make the play in the post. But yeah, just been working on my touch in that area, and just something that we've implemented in our offense this season.
Key, I had a similar question to that. Did you play much in the middle of the zone before you got to Virginia, or is that something you're doing here more?
I say it's something I'm doing here more. But I think it just depends on our offense. We've kind of been running a little motion offense where 3 guys have the freedom to move, whether we get to corners or short corners, middle. And then when we run 1, it kind of just more stagnant. But we have 1 guy in the post. It's usually Sam this year. And I kind of just stay up top. But yeah, so it kind of just depends on what offense we're running. But I'd say I've run more middle here at Virginia.
You mentioned Sam there, 3 straight double-doubles to start ACC play. How impressed have you been with his start to conference play?
Yeah, I think he's been playing well. And he's kind of just someone we can go to when we need buckets down the stretch. I think he made a bunch of great moves and a bunch of tough shots down the stretch. So we just need him to continue what he's doing.
Kihei, Preston asked a few minutes ago, what's clicked for you guys in ACC play on defense, and what's clicked for you is my question. I think if these are right, 13.6 points a game, you're shooting like 64 from the field. You've only turned it over 4 times in 3 games. What do you feel like has clicked for you since that Gonzaga game?
I think just trying to just stay poised. I mean, as a point guard, I can't turn the ball over, so just trying to be more sound on offense. It doesn't give the chance for the other team to push and transition. So just trying to do my job as best I can as a point guard. But just taking what the defense gives me on the offensive end and just trying to pester the guys on the other end. So just trying to play my role.